The Chicago Fire of 1871 was a disastrous and devastating fire that killed over 300 people and caused an estimated $200 million in damages. The fire was started on October 8, 1871 and burned until October 10th. Legend has it that a cow kicked over a lantern in a barn and started the fire, but other theories hold that humans, or even a meteor, might have been responsible for the event that left an area of about 4 miles long and almost a mile wide of the Windy City, including its business district, in ruins. The true cause of the fire is unknown to this day. The dry weather and an abundance of wooden buildings, streets, and sidewalks made Chicago vulnerable to fire. The fire started around a barn located on the property of Patrick and Catherine O'Leary at 137 DeKoven Street on the city's southwest side. The fire left 300 dead and over 100,000 people homeless. This led to looting and lawlessness. Soldiers were summoned to Chicago and martial law was declared on October 11th, ending 3 days of chaos. Martial law was lifted several weeks later. The city rises again in the years following the fire. The Great Chicago Fire had an unprecedented impact on urban form, shaping cities across North America for the half-century before World War II. They used the debris from the fire to create a new part of the city over Lake Michigan. This area is now home to Grant and Millennium Parks, as well as the Art Institute. Considering the devastation that occurred less than 20 years ago, the city needed to rely on a new approach to urban form, a form that would spread to cities across the continent.
For 2 days, it burned. 300 dead, a third now homeless, and the pitchforks all prodded that cow. Though the journalist admitted that his cow story may have been Bullock's, O'Leary died years later, still heartbroken and full of guilt. But she needn't have. Chicago had exploded, then regrouped and rebuilt and elected Joseph Medill as their new mayor, a decision that was wise but not entirely precise. Among the things to burn, the voting records. It was hard to stop guys voting twice. But by 1890, the population had tripled, the ashen land exploded again, and advances made in building meant Chicago now was growing up. It was made of steel, it was made of stone. Chicago's changed a lot since then, but still quite windy now, and in 1997 they finally cleared O'Leary of guilt. And they also cleared her cow.
A coincidence of circumstances created the opportunity for a new urban architecture in Chicago that would be emulated across the nation. The need for office space in a physically circumscribed central district was the pressing problem. The economics of real estate and escalating land values required faster construction that also made possible new construction cheaper. The growth of the steel industry provided materials and techniques. The creative intellectual response and vision of the founders of the Chicago School developed a skyscraper out of these needs and possibilities. The city expanded as it rebuilt, and most visible signs of the destruction were erased within a year. Traditionally, understood as the turning point of Chicago's early history, the Great Fire cemented the reputation of the rising metropolis as a place of opportunity, renewal, and future promise. The myth is often told that the fire cleared the city, but in reality, a different story unfolded. With time and money at stake, as often happens after a natural disaster, business owners quickly rebuilt what they knew. Typical 4-story downtown commercial buildings were often a hybrid of brick, stone, and iron construction. It would be another 10 to 15 years before the earliest skyscrapers, 8 to 10 stories, with structural steel frames, elevators, and innovative foundations, would come to replace those first post-fire buildings. Nearly 150 years later, few people can doubt the significance of the fire in Chicagoans' minds. Today, it is remembered as the second of the 4 stars on the Chicago flag. The next time you see the flag fluttering on the side of a building, you may recall the story of a windy day in 1871 when Chicago changed forever.